Hi, this is Rick for EDU Mobile. In this demo, we're going to talk about presenting a detail view controller when we select a row in a table view. So what I've done is I've given the model a little bit more detail. I've changed the colors array, remember it was an array, to a dictionary. And then in the actual implementation, when I instantiate the model, when I lazily instantiate the colors dictionary now, I'm just setting it to a dictionary containing the names of colors here, and then their color values as UI color values over here. So for red, the key red points to the value UI color, red color, and so forth. So we've got a simple NS dictionary for our model. Now, in the table view controller, the only change that needs to be made is when we look at the self-erode index path, and we'll look at that method now, the cell text, the text label text, needs to be configured as the all keys array from self.model.colors and then object.index index path row. So we need to get an NS array to look at object.index index path row. Okay, good enough. Now, let's look at our storyboard to see how we've set this up. First of all, I've got a new view controller here, and this view controller really doesn't do anything at all, but we're going to set some properties on it. We're going to set its title, and we're going to set its background color. Technically, I really wouldn't need to have a new view controller object backing this, but I do because normally we would need such a class and an object. So I've called it Detail View Controller. And if we look at our Detail View Controller scene and the Detail View Controller here and bring out the sidebar, we can see that its custom class is set to our new class Detail View Controller. I did this. You must do this because when we drag a new view controller scene to the storyboard, by default, its custom class is going to be set to UI view controller, and we need to change it if we're pointing to our own class. Like I said, in this example, detail view controller does nothing at all, but in a real example, it would. So we need to define our own custom class to back our new view controller. Now, I have a segue, and if I select this segue, this is a push segue, and we can see that this push segue has been set up between the cell and our new view controller. And if we look at the properties of this push segue, we can see that I have set an identifier, and I've just called it detail right here. Again, I had to do this, and you will need to do this for every segue in your application. It needs to have an identifier, and I will show you why right now. So how do we get to our new view controller? Well, remember the method we talked about earlier, prepare for segue sender? Well, here it is. And what I've done is simply uncommented this method, and then I have added my own code. Now, because table views in particular, and navigation controller views in general, will have many segues potentially coming off of every view controller, we need to look at the identifier first. So we're looking at the identifier, and we're seeing if this is the detail identifier. If it is, we can proceed. If not, we're not going to do anything because there's no other segues. Now, the next thing I need to do, notice that I've imported Detail View Controller. I'm not doing this because I want an instance of it. The segue will create the instance of it as part of performing the segue. I don't need the instance, but I do need the type in order to cast it. I need to cast the destination view controller. So I've set up a detail view controller object here called detail VC, and it is just segues.destination view controller cast as type detail view controller. Now I can get to the properties of my detail view controller. Then I've also cast sender as a UI table view cell. UI table view cell called cell is a cast UI table view cell of sender, which comes across as an ID. I must cast sender, and in this case, I am casting sender because I need the cells, text labels, text, because I'm setting the detail view controller's title using that property. I'm also using cell.textLabelText to get the object for that key from the model. In other words, the actual color to set the detail view controller's view's background color. So now that I've got the title label, which is the key, really, from the model, if I've got the title label set on the detail view controller's title, and I've got the background color of the view controller being set by the object for key that pertains to that title label, I'm all set. So now, if we run the application, we should see a list of colors in our table view, and we do. Now notice that these are not in any particular order, because dictionaries are not ordered. See, we have red, yellow, green, cyan, and blue here, but in our application being run, we have green, red, yellow, cyan, and blue. There is no imposed ordering on an NS Dictionary's keys. We can order this array, but it's simpler just to leave it alone. And if we select one color, we get the detail. Here is the title label being set by the key value, and then, of course, the background color is being set by our object value in the dictionary. And there we go. Thank you very much.